Napoleon Bonaparte was a military general and is considered one of the world's greatest military leaders. He had many nicknames. One of them was the Man of Destiny, because he believed that he was destined for greatness and that his actions involved the occult and supernatural. He was the first emperor of France from 1804 until 1814 and again briefly in 1815. Napoleon dominated European and global affairs for more than a decade while leading France against a series of coalitions in the Napoleonic Wars. He won most of these wars and vast majority of his battles, building a large empire that ruled over continental Europe before its final collapse in 1815. Napoleon Bonaparte was born on August 15, 1769 in French island of Corsica. He rapidly rose through the ranks of the military, seizing the new opportunities presented by the French Revolution and becoming a general at age 24. Two years later, at age 26, he began his first military campaign against the Austrians and Italian monarchs, winning virtually every battle, conquering the Italian peninsula in a year while establishing sister republics with local support and becoming a war hero in France. In 1798, he led a military expedition to Egypt that served as a springboard to political power. He led a coup in November 1799 and became first consul of the republic. His ambition and public approval inspired him to go further, and he became the first emperor of the French in 1804. The rise of Napoleon troubled the other European powers. Despite the formation of new coalitions against him, Napoleon's forces continued to conquer much of Europe. The tide of war began to turn after a disastrous French invasion of Russia in 1812 that resulted in the loss of much of Napoleon's army. The following year, coalition forces defeated the French in the Battle of Leipzig. In 1814, Napoleon abdicated his throne and was exiled to the island of Elba in Mediterranean Sea. After 9 months, he escaped from Elba with 700 men and arrived in Paris to govern for a period now called the 100 Days. During that time, French army suffered a defeat at Waterloo, and Napoleon chose not to remain with the army, but returned to Paris to try to secure political support for further action. He failed to do so and was forced to resign. Unable to remain in France or escape from it, Napoleon surrendered to British captain and was exiled again, but this time on island of St. Helena in South Atlantic Ocean, where he died in May 1821. One of the greatest love affairs in history had begun in 1795 when Napoleon met Josephine. At the time, Josephine was a widow and mistress to one of the most powerful politicians. She was also a revolutionary heroine, having narrowly escaped the guillotine. A few months into his exile on Elba, Napoleon learned that his ex-wife Josephine had died in France. He was devastated by the news, locking himself in his room and refusing to leave for 2 days. During his reign, Napoleon instituted the Napoleonic Code, also known as the French Civil Code, parts of which are still in use around the world today. It gave privileges based on birth, allowed freedom of religion, and stated that the government jobs must be given to the most qualified. The terms of the code are the main basis for many other countries' civil codes in Europe and North America. He is considered one of the greatest commanders in history, and his wars and campaigns are still studied at military schools worldwide. Napoleon's legacy remains as one of the most celebrated and controversial leaders in human history. Thanks for watching this video, and for more content, don't forget to subscribe.